is expected to face another emotional day in court today when Dr. Johan Stip continues with his testimony. Stip was one of the first people on the scene who tried to help Reeva Steenkamp. She had 4 gunshot wounds, including one to her head. Stip testified there was nothing he could do to save her life, although Pistorius pleaded with him at the time to help her and then with God to save her life. The trial will start at 9:30 this morning. Now, to get the very latest on what is expected today and maybe a recap on yesterday, we're now going to cross to our reporter who's been doing a sterling work there in sometimes wet and rainy conditions, Chriselda Lewis. Good morning, Chriselda. You're there. Is it wet again? Are you standing in the rain?
Absolutely wet. A very good morning to you, Irvin. Absolutely wet here. It's raining cats and dogs, as they say, but I guess we have a duty to inform the public.
Now tell us, is Oscar in the court already, or is he still going to emerge shortly?
Well, Oscar Pistorius usually arrives at about this time, Irvin. Well, we haven't seen him at this stage. Let me just take a look towards the back. Oh, there we go. Yeah, but very lucky. Here you go. Oscar Pistorius just about arriving here at the North Gauteng High Court. As you can see, there next to that green umbrella and the black one, Oscar Pistorius is under the black umbrella there. Not much of a media scrum here today. I'm sure the wet conditions have deterred a lot of people. Right there, Oscar Pistorius making his way inside the court with some family members. There you have it. Oscar Pistorius arriving again for the start of the trial, which is expected to get underway at 9:30. But what's expected to happen today is the state's witness, Johan Stip, is expected to be cross-examined on exactly what it is that he saw at the home of Oscar Pistorius on the morning of Valentine's Day. You know that Johan Stip was one of the first people to arrive at the scene, and yesterday he gave very gory details about what it is that he saw when he arrived at Oscar Pistorius' home. He described seeing Reeva Steenkamp at the bottom of the staircase, saying that Oscar Pistorius was kneeling next to her and crying really uncontrollably, praying to God, asking for God to save Reeva Steenkamp's life, and an indication that Oscar Pistorius tried to save Reeva Steenkamp. The witness says that he noticed that Oscar Pistorius had some of his fingers in her mouth, indicating that he wanted to save her life, but very uncontrollable. He also detailed how Reeva Steenkamp was lying at the bottom of the stairs as well, Irvin.
Now, Chriselda, after what was a tough first 3 days of witness accounts of what happening, the screaming and all that sort of stuff, would it be fair to say that day 4 was a better day for Team Pistorius?
Maybe better in a sense that, you know, for example, Irvin, if you look at the response or how Oscar Pistorius reacted, according to what the witness is saying, it indicates that Oscar Pistorius tried to save Reeva Steenkamp's life, the way that he was praying, asking also Dr. Johan Stip to help him, saying that Dr. Johan Stip should try and assist him to save Reeva Steenkamp's life. Oscar Pistorius' reaction, remember, in this case, we're dealing with 2 elements of crime that are looked at in this case. The one relating to the criminal act. The criminal act, that being of Oscar Pistorius shooting and killing Reeva Steenkamp. What this court is trying to establish is whether Oscar Pistorius intended to kill Reeva Steenkamp, the issue relating to criminal intent. So that's what's being looked at here. Now, Oscar Pistorius' response, the emotions that he showed, according to the state witness Johan Stip, indicates at this point that Oscar Pistorius was weeping uncontrollably. He tried to save Reeva Steenkamp's life and prayed to God and asked God to assist as well, or not to allow Reeva Steenkamp to die. So that kind of emotion really indicating, according to the testimony, that Oscar Pistorius was very concerned about what had happened.
Finally, Chriselda, we're nearing day 5, the end of the first week. What are the local and international media saying after the first week about our justice system, I would think a little bit maybe, and are there any comments they're passing around how we're handling matters here in the country?
Well, yeah, but it's not only Oscar Pistorius who's on trial here, the South African justice system as well. A lot of the international media are looking to that to see what comes out of this case. You know, what's more important is that justice needs to be seen to be done in this case. You know, when people speak, they often say that money buys you freedom, and that, you know, there is no justice for those of stature of celebrity. So really in this case, you know, the justice system is also under scrutiny in this case to really see that justice is served. Number one, because indeed somebody has been killed in this instance. So we'll wait for the court to decide whether Oscar Pistorius is guilty or not. But absolutely, the justice system in this country will really be looked at to see if justice is really done, and to ensure that, you know, a message is sent out that money doesn't buy you freedom in South Africa, that it will be a free and fair trial, and that indeed at the end of the day, the truth does emerge.
Chriselda, Newsroom, thank you for an excellent first week's work, and we'll see you again on Monday. That's Chriselda Lewis giving us a complete update, another one from the Oscar Pistorius trial.